So, hi Jemma.
Hi Nick, good to see you.
Good to see you again. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Jemma Radick. I'm a design director at Studio SC in Seattle. Studio SC is a boutique experiential graphic design firm. We work across a bunch of different markets like healthcare and higher education, some corporate environments, some civic work. We do a lot of signage and wayfinding, which is probably why we're talking.
Yeah.
A lot of immersive environments, artwork, interventions, and murals and graphic components too.
So we've been working together for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Bitro and Jemma Radick especially.
Yes,
Yeah.
across a couple of different firms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Can you explain in some way something we've done to support you or your work, help you deliver on a project maybe, or something you needed to do that was difficult?
For sure. I think what really stands out about Bitro and why I keep calling you over and over again over the years is collaboration, right? Like collaboration in our work, collaborating with our clients and our architecture partners, our fabricators and other vendors, and our internal teams is probably the number one driver for our studio is that collaborative work together. We really feel like the result is better when we do it together. And there's no ego in what we're doing. We just want an awesome result. And I think working with Bitro, you guys have always been so willing to come to the table and workshop different solutions. So if I've got a crazy idea and have no idea how it's actually built yet, you guys have always been a great resource to help figure those things out. So shout out to Sue on your team because she will always take my call, which I value so much, and help me workshop, how thin or thick can a stroke on a letter be in a beautiful architectural letter? Does it need to be more than one piece if it's too big? Like, where can I intentionally build in seams, for instance, so it looks like it's part of the design, but still works from a product perspective? And that kind of help has been really fantastic. That collaboration has been really fantastic, and we need partners like that. I think because it's really important for us that we really push the envelope on the design. So just because the product doesn't exist yet that does what I'm envisioning doesn't mean we can't get there. And you guys have always been willing to entertain some maybe a little bit crazy ideas on what I'm envisioning and help us figure out together how to make that real, how to bring that vision into the physical world. So that part has been, that's what keeps me coming back.
Yeah. And that's great because that certainly has helped make us better over time.
Yes.
So a lot of our developments have been through customers challenging us or trying to help them meet a challenge, and allows us to continuously develop. So
yeah, exactly.
It's a great
so
answer.
If you don't have the product yet, maybe you'll make one.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll try. We'll try.
Yeah. It's great.
This is a good question I have for you now. How important is quality in your craft? Not only to you, but to the end user or the customer you're serving?
Well, it's everything. It's wildly important. I think for us in design, we become stewards of our clients' investment, right? We have a vision, we walk them through a solution to their design problem, and then we help support them and monitor how things go during the build and install part of the project to make sure that the client is always getting what we envisioned together. And the details and the craft of that, having it come out very high quality and well representing the investment made of our client is incredibly important. So for us, when it comes to writing specifications, we're very careful. We are going to be incredibly exact about what kinds of quality of workmanship and details, finishing details, will be acceptable for our project so that our client gets what they were expecting. And those details, little details like finely finished edges and beautiful finishes and things looking exactly like they should, it's really, really important. And I need it to look amazing up close and personal and not just from a distance. So the Bitro, the Resno letter series, which are those more boutique kind of architectural letter forms that you can do custom, they always look amazing every time. I have used this product over and over and over again. I've never been disappointed. It's never ended up on a punch list as being, oh, it didn't meet the expectation, or it's damaged, or there's something wrong. And I think in the past, working with your team, I've definitely heard like, yeah, it didn't meet our quality control, so we're redoing it, right? Because we're not going to send it out of the shop like that. And to me, that's hugely invaluable. Like, such a time waste if I get a product delivered to the site, or a sample sent to our studio, or something installed in the field. It's like, why did you even send this? Bitro has never done that. I've always been impressed with the level of detail and quality, and so have our clients when they come to see it. They understand why we pushed for it in the first place, and it makes a fabulous addition to the design.
Yeah, that's great. It's great to hear that. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
To know, because we have this experience through so many customers, and to hear this kind of feedback is great for our team, but also it keeps us going and keeps us moving in that same direction. So I do want to ask a follow-up question. How do you convey quality to your client? Like, because you're seeing everything in your mind. You're a designer. So, give me an example of how do you help the client to envision and see that? Yeah.
I think one thing I've done in the past is show them like a Resno letter compared to another kind of letter, say with a big ugly trim cap on it, and show them the difference, to say like, okay, here's a low, medium, high option or direction for the design that you've approved. And you can see for yourself how each one looks. So when you have a contractor or a fabricator telling you that they can save you some money by substituting a product with something generic, I think it's really important just to manage expectations. Like, yes, you can still have an illuminated letter. It's still going to be an illuminated letter, but look at what you're getting here, and that it's very clear. The other thing I like to do is ask you guys for a sample that I can take to the client meeting when we're having this conversation. We just did that very recently. I called, like, I need a sample letter to look like this particular kind, and Sue found one in the shop somewhere and sent it out to me. I brought it to our client meeting in Denver, and they were immediately sold. It didn't take much of a pitch because they could see for themselves. So knowing that's an option is really fantastic to help us get what we want in the design, what we know the client will want in the design, right? A lot of our work with the clients is helping to educate them onto all the nuance and in the weeds parts of our business, right, that they are trusting us to deliver on. And so we need to bring them along with us in that design process so that they can see why we've made the decisions that we've made, and then they are happy to give their support.
Yeah, that's a great point. I often feel like we're in the education business.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes. And it's good that our clients can come to us as subject matter experts and know that we aren't going to give a blanket answer. We will meet them where they are and help bring them along so that we are really collaborating on that vision and that they believe in it. Yeah.
I agree. What do you think the biggest challenge is for specifying illuminated signs? I
think color is the hardest thing with illuminated signs, logos, any of those type of different design elements you might see in an environment, especially when you're working with a brand who has a very distinct brand color system along with their visual identity and their story. I mean, when we look at things that are illuminated and things that are non-illuminated, or even different kinds of materials, from say paint to metal to fabric to light, from a brand experience, those all need to be cohesive. It needs to look like the same color across the board. But obviously that's very difficult because we've got totally different physical substrates and mechanisms to show that brand color.
Sure.
And lighting is one of the hardest ones, because if you put light behind, say, a red, it turns pink. If you turn light behind a navy blue, it often turns purple and it doesn't look correct, or a pastel kind of color. So getting that right has always been really tricky and required quite an extensive period of time where you need to see sample after sample after sample to try and like nail the color. So in the past, it's taken a lot of time in the schedule and kind kind of frustrating for the fabricators and the contractor to go through that to get it right. But of course, it's very, very important. Bitro really surprised me. I think I had been complaining to Eddie at some point about color being hard, and he was talking about how he had these ideas on how to make it easier. And then one day, out of the blue, a box arrived at my doorstep. This was like early COVID days, so we were all on lockdown, and here was just a box from Bitro. I hadn't ordered anything. I had no idea what was in the box. And I opened it up. Of course, there's no note from Eddie. There's no explanation of what this is. No instructions of any kind. I just opened the box to all of this like equipment, light boxes and control panels. And so of course I reached out and I'm like, what the heck is this? And what am I meant to do with it? So this was an early prototype of the Lux Capacitor that you guys have developed. And I feel like it was exciting to be able to be one of those early people prototyping how to do this. But then, at least, I think you guys have evolved it since then. But that early,
first, it was 3D printed, I think, right? Did you get or did you get the Sintra model or the 3D printed model?
I think it was the Sintra model.
Yeah. So early on.
Early. Yeah. But basically, for those folks who haven't seen what that prototype looked like, I'm sure it looks different now today. Yeah. But it was like 2 light boxes connected by a controller, and I could adjust with the controller. I could adjust the color temperature of the LEDs inside to cooler or warmer, and I could adjust the brightness to brighter or dimmer, and then I could lay over top the translucent color film that I was looking for my brand color, and I could try a variety of different ones, and I found things like, I think I was trying to imagine navy at that particular time on that particular project.
Navy's
and navy is one of the hardest colors to do illuminated ever. So it was a great test. I was like, I need like a neon chartreuse color and a navy blue. Like, oh my gosh, challenging. But I was able to like play around with different 3M films and the color temperature adjustments in order to get something that looked really true to the printed color I had from my Pantone deck. And I was amazed at what a game changer that was. So instead of me having to say, okay, go ahead, make it look like this, knowing that that's really, really hard, I could experiment for myself and instead send you guys back the reading on the little controller and say, okay, this color temperature, this level of brightness with this film on top is the color I want. And then you guys had a way to like extrapolate that into full scale of letters, logos, signs, and things that we were creating in order to make it keep that color quality at scale. Yeah. And I just thought that was such a game changer. One of the hardest things to specify is color in signage.
Oh, definitely.
Always. Definitely. And so to me, that like testing that navy color was like, all right, this is a pass-fail situation. This is either going to work and it's going to change all of this, how it works, or it's not. So I was blown away by how much that changed the process of specifying signage and color in signage, and just how much it eased the sample review process and shop drawing review. There was not only was there a level of trust that had been built up because I've sort of tested the limits of what you guys can do several times at that point. But this was a game changer. So I'm super excited to see kind of where you guys have taken that to and what you're doing with color next, because I hadn't seen anybody do that before. It was very innovative.
So the newer Lux Capacitor, you're looking at one on the table here.
Nice.
It's horizontal. It's actually laid, typically vertically. Same, like the one.
It looks a lot different than the box of components I got in early 2020.
I made you a little present.
Did you?
Bitro's made you a little gift. I'm going to show you this year.
Hey!
But
cool.
What I'm going to do is put it onto the Lux Capacitor. You can put it in there if you'd like. I think probably easier from this side. So you don't have to reach around the mic there. Okay. Put this little magnet in there instead of retainer. So studios see you have a black logo, right? Do you know what material that is that you made that with?
No.
So that's the Bitro Do Light.
Oh yes. Okay.
The day night acrylic.
Day night, yeah.
So I'm going to do is
very
first
handy.
Turn it on to what you're looking at is actually how the industry would light. This is about 400 nits. hitting the back of day-night acrylic. This is how they would light this type of material or perf the same way.
Yeah.
Right? Give you a standard amount of lighting in the back. So this obviously, you know, with the camera lights here in the room, doesn't tell a good story of brightness, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up our do light face.
Oh, wow.
And you tell me when to stop. What would look like on an indoor brightness level?
That's good, but warmer.
Warmer. So I have 5,000K, 4,000K, and 3,000K. 5,000K, and I can also change the brightness to
there.
Right there?
Yep.
Is that where we're at? Okay. So now we can see it off state during the day. And what do you think? Is it cool?
Yeah, very cool.
Now I think we might have to try to get you a lux capacitor so you can do this with this logo.
That was going to be my thing.
Yeah.
Was, Nick, can I have one?
Yeah.
Please? Can I put it back in my closet so I can play with color?
We're making more. Yeah. So now we have all different kinds of tools.
Yeah.
We can take this measurement or what we're seeing in this compact device and turn it into a spec.
Yeah.
So we call it the Valley System, vinyl, acrylic, lighting, and intensity. And we make you sort of a mini BOM.
Yeah.
When you use these materials this way, because that's the formula for illuminated color.
Yeah.
Right, using these 4 things this way will give you this result. And then we try to scale it up or down with some different layouts to hit the different intensity. And then across different, depends on your design. Are you making a 4-inch tall letter? And then on the outside of the building, you might have, you know, a 10-foot high letter up at the top of the building, and then making those match and be specified specific to that brand and the performance that they
Yeah. I mean, being able to control the brightness, especially in interior environments, I mean, exterior too, but one thing I've found that I've been curious, like, what's in your R&D pipeline here?
Yeah.
Because the Resno letters, which are my favorites, they're just so well done, high quality, look very detailed. They're very bright when you're inside.
Yeah.
Let's say you're inside a premium club environment in a stadium, and the lighting is low kind of everywhere, and we need an illuminated component that is perhaps the logo of the sponsor, let's just say, or the logo of the team we're representing, and they can be very bright in those environments. So dialing in the light level as well as the color is something that I found is really, really important. And you can't really know what is going to be right until you're in the field. So being able to add in dimmers or specify kind of a lower level of light intensity that'll still appear like no shadows or hot spots. It's going to be nice and even illumination.
So I think that probably brings me to the point about like innovation. This is something you've been asking for, right? I believe it was, you know, can you tell me a little bit about that? Like what would you like to see from us going forward?
Yeah, I think specifically about the Resno letters. I was looking for a way to specify just an overall kind of lower light intensity level so that I can dial in the color, but then also instead of having to put in a dimmer, have it manufactured so that its maximum light output is within the range that is going to be appropriate for the interior environment is something that...
so a range that you specify,
Yeah.
So I think with certain colors that may be possible.
Yeah.
I think you should talk to Tim and Sue and figure out how to get you there.
I'd love to. Let's make something new.
That'd be great. So let's bring this one over. You can take this cartridge out.
Okay.
It should just come right out.
Cool. So this is all our lighting modules in here.
Yeah. So that the same like the original one you got.
Yeah.
But there's 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,500K.
Yeah.
So these are all of the little LED chips that we use in our product.
Right.
So if you see an LED module, it has, you know, same thing in the Resno letters and the Tracer X. But this cartridge, we can also make an RGB one.
Oh,
or different colors, which we couldn't do with the original.
No.
It was, and the original was about this deep, right? I think it was.
It was like a box.
Yeah.
There was 2 boxes and then a controller with crazy wires.
Yeah. So and now this is the new controller, let's say, where you can just dial up. So I don't know if you've seen this, but they made the. Let me plug this one back in.
Nice.
So you see, you can turn the right or left one on or off. So you can put these side by side.
Nice. Oh, I see. You can control 2 of them at the same time. This is the
You
dual
can control
light.
2 at the same time and then dim them up, dim them down.
Neat.
You can load in different materials.
Yeah. And you can still put the colored film or colored acrylic in
So
that assembly.
if you take magenta.
Yes, right?
So
It's so on brand.
yeah. Can you change it to 2447? So on this device, go to the
Yep, I did 2447.
2447. So this is not as white during the day, but it appears a little more. It also allows like 30 to 40% more light to pass through the material. So that's typically what you should be specifying when you're putting any type of vinyl
Sure.
in front, because the properties of that 7328 white.
Yeah.
Something from the table there. So now,
Yeah, nice.
let's say you want, I can use the retainer. You can change the color temperature, and you can see with the same material, just by changing color temperature,
Yeah.
what a
See,
difference
it's
it makes.
a very warm pink.
Right.
Very, very warm. Versus the coolest version looks way more purple.
Yeah. And then if you change the intensity, dimming up or down, that's a half of a knee number, a certain amount of nits per.
Yeah.
But you can see the experience of this color is different as well.
I mean, just with that, with the standard vinyl, standard 3M vinyl, you can change the appearance. This is what I was talking about with the navy. Is you could get something that's very, very cool or very, very warm without changing the film at all.
Yeah.
So when you look at 3M translucent films, there's only so many varieties. I mean, they have lots, but there's steps in between that sometimes when you're trying to nail a brand color, it's like, well, this one isn't perfect and that one isn't perfect either. This really bridges the gap where you can be like, okay, I need it to be warmer than this like neutral, but not that warm.
Yeah.
You can go down here and you can kind of bring it down a little bit. And then that's going to be a much better match for your Pantone.
Yeah. And then where it also gives you a good starting point for materials.
Yeah.
You buying all the materials. But then what we've been seeing too is we can sit in a room. We're lighting experts. You're a design expert. And then the brand will come in. We can get close to what we think their brand color is, but the brand owner will ultimately say, oh no, that's my color. That is my brand color.
Exactly. Color is so subjective.
Oh, yeah.
And some people can't see it at all.
Yeah.
They can't see the difference between one shade of pink and the other. So
Yeah.
there might be some folks watching that demonstration who are like, it looks like the same pink light. It was radically different.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. That's the fun part of the industry though.
Yeah, exactly. I like to be able to do this too because with the films, like I said, they're stock colors and you can choose to print a custom color, but a lot of times we see like banding in the direct print and it doesn't give quite as nice of a final appearance with the color as a stock translucent vinyl will give. So it's good to be able to work with that. Be consistent.
Yeah, consistency I think is the hardest. It's the most difficult thing to do, but one of the most important.
For sure.
We can do.
Especially when you're trying to roll out a signed package across multiple different locations.
Yeah.
You need to know exactly how it was done so you can duplicate it over and over. So, yeah. Cool. Thanks for letting me play with it.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here. And thank you for being one of the early users of Capacitor. Guinea pig, and you always push us to do a little bit more. And that's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Cool. Thanks, Nick.